Are you nervous about buying your first home? Oh, you want to stick around and watch.
This is Kasama Lee, your community realtor.
If you are in the market of buying your first home, there's so many emotions that are just going through your body, right? There's the excitement, the hopes and dreams, the pride that you're gonna be the homeowner. For some of us, we're the first generation that's gonna break the cycle and actually become a homeowner versus renting our whole life, right? So there's so many things that could be going through you. Also, there is nervousness, anxiety, fears, doubts, lots and lots of questions. All of those things are normal. You're allowed to feel all of those emotions. And now take a deep breath with me. Exhale. Don't forget to exhale. You always want to remember to exhale. What you want to know is that while those emotions are overflowing, there is some cure and some answers at the end of this video. So you want to stick around and watch and see how you can get past some of the anxieties or questions that you may have around this. If you find this content valuable, you want to hit subscribe and the bell notification so you don't miss future videos. Thanks for supporting the channel, for sharing, commenting, and liking. The first thing you want to remember is this. You want to focus on what you can control. And let me tell you, in real estate, there are a lot of things and components and moving pieces that you nor I, as a real estate agent, have control over. So it's important for you to recognize what you have control over and focus on that, okay? And first and foremost, it starts with you getting lined up with the trusted experts, and there are two of them. There's your trusted, competent lender and your trusted and competent real estate agent who's going to be fighting and going to bat for you and to make sure that you are exercising your rights during the process of home buying. And understand what your rights are. What you can control is knowing your numbers. You gotta crunch your numbers. See, the way we work is as much as we love all the, clients who have been referred to us, who have entrusted us, we won't get them to see houses until we know of what their purchasing power or what they're approved for to purchase, right? And that's really important. So with that, you want to crunch the numbers, and you know what? It's going to hurt a little bit. If it was comfortable, everybody would be buying homes left and right? But it's not. So you're going to have to look at your budget, and you're going to have to probably carve out some luxury, dispensable spending that you have been doing and trim up and really lean up on your spending habits. So with that, what that means is you should stretch, but it should not be too far. For example, if you can't afford to buy gasoline to put in your car, or you can't afford to even buy groceries, the essential stuff. I'm not talking about going out and, fancy coffees and all the things, but just to be able to eat for the month. If you have gone so far that you can't afford the essentials like gasoline and paying utility bills and getting groceries, then you're probably stretched too far. Only you and your significant other, whoever else that are part of this budgeting process, would know that. And you have to sit down, look at the numbers, and talk through it together on what you can make sacrifices on in order to own a home. Now, the second piece is, as you go through the process of escrow, the home buying process, you might wonder, gosh, what kind of repairs are in the home? So let me just be the first one to tell you, if you've not heard this before, there is no perfect home. There isn't a home, not even a brand new home that you buy, that won't have any cosmetic flaws or issues, plumbing, electrical, all the things, okay? So you need to just know that when you go in, and if you are working with your competent, trusted real estate agent, you have your rights to do inspections. If you watch this video that I talked about pre-listing inspection, that's really the conversation for sellers, but I cover the 3 different types of inspection, and you should watch that and really understand that you will discover what is doable, what is not during inspections. Most things are fixable. It's just a matter of are you gonna be able to fix them later on down the road? But know that no sellers are gonna fix everything for you. I've not experienced that, okay? Unless you buy a brand new home and the builder has a warranty on it. So with that, you need to be reasonable, as the seller should be reasonable in what the seller would be willing to repair. That's part of the negotiation. That's part of the process of once you get into escrow, okay? So that's important for you to know. A lot of times inspections will kind of give you a really better understanding of the condition of the home. So I highly encourage that you have inspections done. The third piece that is projected into the future is, yes, a lot of people who buy their home for the first time, they're at a certain point in their career. And most of them are at the earlier part of their career. So here's the thing, your job is probably gonna change. You might end up in a different employment altogether. Once you've owned your home, you may end up getting promoted and your position gets better. And usually when your position and your responsibility gets better, and it's over time, right? Because you've earned, your experience, your income, your salary, what you take home usually increases. It gets better over the years if you are a candidate, a good employee, right? Or if you're a business owner, it doesn't matter. Your income increases. What that means is your mortgage stays the same because it's a 30-year mortgage rate. And if you end up refinancing to a lower rate, your monthly payments would even be better. Well, that should also open up your budget and your lifestyle so that you're not having to start out watching every dollar when you first started getting the keys to your first home. I hope this is helpful because you know what? I know that for me personally, before I became a real estate agent, I didn't know any of this. And it got better and it got easier. And your budget, your mortgage payments and all the things that you do becomes part of your life. And it's not even something you think about. You just make things and other things fit around it. And as I said, when your income gets better, making a mortgage payment is like making a car payment, okay? By the end of this video, you'll have more confidence and you will be more equipped with these 4 amazing tips that will get you ready to buy your first home. Let's get started. Here we go. Tip number 1. You need to get pre-approved first. What that means is you go through the whole process with your trusted lender that may be referred to you by your real estate agent so that you know exactly what I like to call your purchasing power is. You don't want to end up falling in love with a house that is way beyond your price range. That is the worst thing that you can do to yourself because you would have just been house hunting, looking around, thinking this is your price range until you crunch the numbers. And you can only do that, by the way, when you go through the pre-approval process for you to find out that house that you fell in love with emotionally does not work out in math. The dollars don't add up. So please, 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 from me to you, get pre-approved first before you even start looking at your first house. Don't even go to the open houses because you're going to end up looking in the price range that may not be in the right fit for you. That's what my advice is to all of my first-time buyers client. And even if they go to look at an open house, I just tell them, don't get attached to it. I don't want you to get attached to it because I'm not taking you there until I know what you're approved for, okay? That's really important. Tip number 2, once you are pre-approved and you know what that number would be, here's the thing that we've learned. Most people are, a large percentage of pre-approved buyers, they're actually approved for more than what they're willing to really spend per month. So instead of sticking with let's say your lender tells you you're approved for $700,000, okay? What you need to look underneath that $700,000, right, is how much your down payment is and what is your monthly payment going to be. That includes what we call PITI, principal, interest, tax, and insurance. That monthly payment does not change until you refinance, or if you have an adjustable interest rate, then it'll change at some point. But that number, the monthly number, is the number that you want to stick with, because that's going to be your budget for however long your loan terms are. So if it's 30 years, that's going to be your monthly budget unless you refinance when the interest rates are lower. So don't get stuck to the sticker price. You got to look at the numbers that make sense to you. So let's say for a $700,000 pre-approved amount, if your monthly PITI happens to be, I don't know, $4,500, does that number work for you every month? And if it doesn't, and you say, $4,500 is too high, we can only do $4,000 a month. You need to go back to your lender and say, for $4,000 a month, PITI, what is my maximum purchase price? That's the number you want. So you kind of want to work it backwards. I hope all of that made sense to you. If it doesn't, you can send me an email, or you can really just show this video to your favorite lender. Success tip number 3. Whatever you do, do not skip having inspections done. Yes, it's going to cost you. One of the things that you're going to be spending out of pocket during inspection period is you're going to want to have inspectors inspect on the home. The 3 inspections we typically would recommend to our prospective buyers is the whole house inspection, or it's also called home inspection, the pest and termite inspection, that's one inspection, and the roof inspection. It's all going to add up in our area to be around $1,000, maybe a little bit more, maybe a little bit less for all those 3 inspections. Are they worth it? You bet your bottom it's worth it, because you're spending hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars to purchase a house. Why would you not want to know what you're purchasing? Even if you're not going to be asking the seller for all of the repair items, you should know what you are purchasing so you understand the condition, the current condition, and what might be the anticipated potential updates or repairs that you might be doing 3-5 years from now. So do not take a shortcut and skip inspections. Finally, success tip number 4. Your first home may not be your forever home. And that's okay. I have served many, many, many clients, and I get so excited when I think about this. We're actually working with a family right now that bought their first home 5-6 years ago, and that first home is going to give them the equity that's going to get them into a bigger home. What I mean by that is the kids got bigger, right? So now they need a bigger home. So that's what we call moving up. Families that are moving up. But you need that first home to get you in the door to home ownership so that you can take advantage of what home ownership would bring you, which is the equity of the home. Building your financial portfolio. That equity is what you're going to bring to be the down payment of your moving up home, your replacement home that's probably going to be bigger and it's going to be more expensive. But now you would have maybe $100,000, $200,000, $300,000 to put down as a down payment to get you the larger home without, stretching too much on your monthly payments. I hope that makes sense to you. If this is helpful to you, thumbs up. Let me know how things are going for you. And if you have any questions at all, I am just an email away, Kasama@kasamasales.com. Thanks for watching.